Your television came over the signal. You got an antenna either on top of your house or rabbit ears. And so he was in the early days of cable TV and took it, and in the early days when very few people watched, and because his investment was so big and his investment in a news operation, people started getting cable. And he took, he had another station, WTBS, which was cable, and that broadcast old movies and programs, independent programs and local programming. So he was a pioneer in cable. And if it wasn't for Ted Turner, I'm not sure if cable would be what it is today because of his investment, and he made a lot of money. In fact, he made a pledge to the United Nations that he was going to finance him one time and give him $1 billion. And in 2015, he did that.
And did it feel like, what is this guy thinking, though?
I mean, I remember when it's interesting because when Ted Turner, I came to Charlotte in the early '70s, and it was like shortly after he bought the station. Within a few years, I started doing what's called freelance work at WRAT. That meant doing announcements, doing commercials, hosting some shows and things. So I got to know Ted Turner not very well. I would just say that I knew him because I met him. He didn't say a lot. He would just walk around the station and go, into different departments, and yeah, how you doing? Didn't say very much, but he was a thinker and a doer, a very smart man, and obviously very successful what he did. And the other thing I think notable about Ted Turner, he was one time married to Jane Fonda.
Yes.
And so, I mean, there's so much history with him. But yeah, he was at the station. He was very quiet, and everything he did was from the background, his investment, his knowledge. He was a visionary for broadcasting.
Pioneer, visionary, those are the words. And philanthropist. Right? Without
a doubt.
He did a lot of great work with his money.
Well, like I said, $1 billion to the United Nations. And he was like I said, he owned the Atlanta Braves. And there was at one point, I remember they had a losing season. I can't remember the year. But he was so mad that he managed, which basically the coach, for one game. He went, I'm going to be the manager. Went down the dugout and told the players what to do. He was also a yachtsman. He was a great yachtsman as well. He did it all.
He did it all.
And what a life he had.